Good morning, gorgeous. It's great to see you and to be out here on a sunny morning wearing a sun hat and all these clothes. It just strikes me as funny because it's cold but it's sunny and the sun is bright. So let me show you. Oh my God, the second calm day in a row for what seems like forever. It was so windy for so long. Here are the iris, and I don't really need to say much except that they're fabulous. Let's see if I can. Oh no, the sun's just hitting that one too hard. Well, that's better. Now you can see the colour. It's very rich and beautiful, and the texture on the petals is glorious. And yeah, that's an old flower, but still, have a look at the detail on it. Isn't it glorious? The beautiful veining on the outside of it. And of course, these ones, I'm going to put my foot in the garden here. These ones haven't really opened yet. Let's get some focus. There you go. You can see. It's a bearded iris, clearly. Sometimes called a flag iris. Come on. Give me some sharp focus. Camera's getting a bit confused about what to focus on. It's trying. I might just be a bit too close for the lens. It's a bit of a challenge. There you go. Now you can see. Aren't they amazing? Julian, good morning. Good evening to you. Just loving these flowers and the scent of them. It's quite tropical. And we have the bluebells, which are really a cross between bluebells and white bells or pink bells. But regardless, they're very pretty. They're sort of pale and soft and loose. And there's more of them over there. And you can see all the granny's bonnet coming up. So it's the exciting time in this part of the garden. At this time of the year, I never know whether to show you the front garden or the back. But there you go, flowers, sunshine, and just for a moment, enjoy this. Because I love this. You know, flowers are great, but foliage, there's something fabulous about this. So, the leaves, I've got to prune that daisy, so it's getting scruffy. You keep your daisies nice by cutting them back hard. And we have Granny's bonnet here, which I want to show you up close. There, look at that. Such a pretty little flower. And if you look at it sideways, look at all the detail there. It's beautiful. Good morning, Linda. Facebook hasn't even told me you're on, but the captain has, and here's more Granny's bonnet. Little bit, I mean, you can see what the weather's been like, quite violent, but let's see if we've got a fresh flower. There's a fresh flower. Just gorgeous. So there you go. That's what's happening in the floral world, and look at everything that's going to come up here. Okay, now, turning around. Today, I want to really, I'm sort of picking up where we left off yesterday, just following a thread in my own mind. And today, really, I want to talk about being present in the moment. And it's a bit more than mindfulness. Mindfulness is great. Following your breath and noticing and, that's cool. Nothing wrong with it. And it's a great tool to use from moment to moment. But I want to talk about what happens or what you can create for yourself when you relax, you calm down, you get present, and to do that, you've got to open your focus, and we talked about that recently. Was it yesterday, the day before? I can't remember. And you start to connect to information, to downloads, to synchronicities, to serendipities, things that come to you from out of nowhere, the unified field, because you tuned yourself to that frequency. And so that's the first thing that happens when you start to get really present and you relax and you open up and connect, because you're broadcasting a clear intention and an elevated emotion into the unified field, and the unified field says, woohoo, I can endorse that, because it's got to, by the way. It has to, there's no choice. We're the ones that have the choice. The unified field simply has to endorse who we're being. Oh, damn. And after that, because I was really thinking, what am I going to talk about? Because no one's asked me a burning question, which is fine. But, when nobody asks me a burning question, I have to think, well, what do I want to talk about? And I finally came back to, as I often do, well, what's my journey? And at the moment, my journey is very much about staying in this flow, having got to the place where I'm relaxed, where I'm feeling connected, where wonderful things are happening. Yeah, the synchronicity abounds daily when you're in the flow. Then you want to stay there. I want to stay there. And it's this moment to moment, hour, minute to hour, to day to week to month progress or process, skill of staying connected to that flow as much as I can. To the point, and I've been doing it for a while now, so I know when this happens, that I know when I fall out of it. I know when something upsets my apple cart and I've lost the plot, and I start thinking, feeling and resonating something else, and then I think, oh God, that's painful, because it means I've become incoherent again, gone back to the emotions and the behaviours and the beliefs and the thoughts and everything of my past, and I think, I don't like this, I want to go back into the feelings of my future. So I really want to talk about and it is a dance, honestly, this really delicate's the wrong word, it's a really refined paying attention that I have to do to stay in the moment so that I can stay attuned to the frequencies and the synchronicities and the, whatever that I desire to manifest in my life. That's really what I want to talk about today. Because to me, this is at least a good chunk of the art of daily living. And God, I love my daily time that I get to spend sitting down, being still, being in the unified field, forgetting about myself, being consumed by the emotions of my future. I really landed that in me now. I understand that in a whole way that I didn't before yesterday morning. Something just woke up in me listening to Joe talk about it. I love that. Oh my God, do I love it. It's changed me so much. But I also know, because I've learned this too, that's great. But then I got to open my eyes and stand up and live that. I got to live what I downloaded. I got to live and embody and breathe and think and feel and behave as that during the day. And that is my daily challenge, my daily practice. Can I live and embody who it is that I desire to be for this one day? Because tomorrow it's going to be different. Robin, good morning, honey. Can I do it for this one day? Can I somehow stay present enough to this person that I've decided to be today? Because that was the synchronicity. That was the download. Jen, good morning, honey. This is the frequency that I connected to in the unified field. Can I do that just today? To be present enough today, now. And it's interesting, because I look at my life and I think, God, I would love to be able to meditate again later in the day, because I know I've said this before. The morning is cool. I've spent time in the field. I'm coherent. I'm balanced. I'm on target. If anything interesting is going to happen, it'll happen later in the day or at the end of the day, because my brain's had more time to get disentrained from who I'm choosing to be. And, there's just more time for stuff to happen and for me to react to it. That's fine, but that is the skill that I find myself practicing, and I'm just so entranced by what happens as I get better at it. And like you say, Linda, when we start to even get a little bit of this going on, things just keep arriving, and they, I had one happen. I'm going to tell you the story. I had one happen last week. It was so perfect. I could not have planned it like that. Yeah, there you go. You see, Linda, because you download something, you connect to something, kaboom, it appears in your awareness, and then the universe just says, here, see it all around you. Know that I've got this. And so this is what happened last week. So last week, because my husband still hasn't got back to driving, his foot's a lot better. You may recall he had quite a serious sprain. It's one of those ones that doesn't heal in a couple of weeks. It's taken a while because of what he sprained. But he's been doing his work in the unified field, and it's healing really well, and he's done a lot of ice baths, and he doesn't have to do that anymore. He's still rehabilitating it, but it's getting better and better and better. But he hasn't got back to driving. And because, that puts pressure on the ankle, right? And you don't want to be distracted by a ton of pain when you're driving because, that's not a good plan. So last week, we needed to go down to Johnsonville to get his new glasses, which is like, woohoo, new glasses, which a whole other reason why that was exciting. So off we went, we had an appointment, and off we went down to the garage. I got in the car, turned the key, tick, 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 tick. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, okay, either the battery's flat or the solenoid's died. In any case, we couldn't go. No car, right? Only one car. One's enough. So we called the optometrist and said, this has happened. And then I called the AA. Now, the AA is the New Zealand Automobile Association, and we're members. And they do call-outs for, stuff like that. So they came round, and you can have quite a long delay with the AA, but they were around really fast. And it turned out the battery had died. And what happened is the battery's 11 years old. The guy had never seen a battery that was 11 years old. It was like, we looked after our car. And we don't drive it that much. Don't need to. And the only reason it died, pandemic lockdown was in full force. We barely went anywhere, and the battery just got really, really, really flat. And we charged it up again, but it's an old battery, and when that happens to an old battery, it's gone, and it just gave up the ghost. That was March, it's September, it did another 6 months, and we've been driving the car quite regularly, but dead battery. So okay, fine, the mobile battery service will come around and put a new battery in for you. And I remember a little moment of choice there, thinking, that's another however much. There's been a lot of cash that's flowed through our hands this month. And I made a conscious choice. The money's there. It's okay. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm not going to have any negative thought about spending another $200. Was slightly more than that, whatever. So I held that in myself really well. And the battery guy was also really fast. Now, in between those two things, When the first man came round, and they were both lovely people, and they did a great job. Shout out to the New Zealand Automobile Association, great people, great service. Between the technician coming and the battery man coming, there was a gap, and we went up to the house, and I said to Lawrence, look, we could always ring our fabulous neighbour and see whether she'd be willing to take you down, because she said that she'd be quite happy to do that if we ever need it, and she's there. And he sort of went, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. So it was fine. We'll go to the optometrist another time. So anyway, I think I'm in the process of, I'm somewhere in the house, and he's in the kitchen doing something, and he looks out the window, and who is there but our neighbour waving at him over the fence? Precisely the person that we wanted to talk to. Now, this is where it really gets good. I'd ordered something online a couple of days ago. First time in 30 years, the package has been delivered to the wrong house. My package went to her house. And so she's standing there with the package saying, I'm sorry, I didn't know this wasn't me. And I opened it, like, I don't care. You are just here at exactly the time I needed you. And I said, by the way, this has happened. Would you be happy to take Lawrence to Johnson? He said, sure. Off they went to get the glasses. I stayed home to be there when the battery man arrived. It all flowed. It was so easy. And I could not have planned that. Now that to me was just this huge embrace from the universe saying, Maddie, you worry sometimes about money. You wonder how it's all going to happen. You wonder where your clients are going to come from. You wonder how it's all going to, the thing that you envision is going to happen. Can't you see I've got all of this so perfectly orchestrated for you, and all you got to do is stay and flow with me and trust me. And I really got that message last week. It really just came to me. So really, I never got to tell the story because I forgot all about it, because there's so many wonderful synchronicities. But that one was like, I could not have planned this. First missed delivery from a courier in 30 years. Must have read the 0 as a 6 or something. It's quite clear on the package. Doesn't matter. It happened, So everything gets to be so taken care of. It just often doesn't and because, we expect, my money's going to come this way. And we get excited about it when we think about it, and then it doesn't come. And so we think, maybe it won't come to me this way. Maybe it's not going to come like this. And we start wondering and worrying and looking for it, because, of course, when you're looking for something, wondering how it's going to happen, you're not in the state of having it. And when you're not in the state of having it, that is not the frequency that you want to be broadcasting to the universe. Because remember, the universe has to endorse who you're being. Yeah, no second guessing, and it all flows. So, if I want to be in the space of having significant amounts of money available because there are significant things I want to do, you got to understand I have this drive, this massive desire to do stuff that takes money. And most of it's not for me. Because it's just what I want to do. As soon as I get into the place of saying, where is my money coming from? How's it going to happen? I'm not in that place. And it means I don't trust myself and I don't trust the universe to orchestrate my life as perfectly as I just saw that it did. And really, it is that simple. It's a beautiful example. I'm glad I got to share it with you. I'm glad that nobody asked me a burning question and I dug into myself and thought, this is really what I'm doing at the moment, is moment to moment remembering what it feels like to trust that, and more than to trust it, because, you can go, I trust you, but to trust it and to feel and be consumed by the feeling of now. It's here now. I have this now. I'm so abundant now. And by the way, and I'm still really feeling into this, but, a great definition of abundance is I have everything I need now and some to give away. Right now. Of course, a lot of us don't feel abundant because we look at tomorrow and the next day and the thing we want to do and the thing we can't pay for yet, and we give away our feeling of abundance because we can't see how it's going to happen. So, that's the choice. Do I stay in the unknown, which is right now, or do I continue to inhabit the lack of my predictable future? Because I can't see how I can be any more wealthy than I am now. Or do I stay in this moment of, I'm just so blessed. I'm just so grateful. I can do everything I desire, and it was so magical the way it turned up, and I could not have planned it like this. Do I stay in that space and inhabit that and let the universe endorse that whatever way it likes, the best, most amazing, most loving, most perfect way that it can? Or do I step out of that space and say, it's not happening, I can't see it, I'm worrying, I'm poking, I'm prodding, I'm curious, I'm looking, I'm waiting for it, and then the universe has to endorse that. And I have to manifest more synchronicities about being worried, about waiting for it, about not seeing it. That's how it works. So there's moment to moment, oh my goodness, can I stay in this state of thinking and feeling and behaving as the person who is that? I can't even say the person who has that now. The person who is that. The person who is healthy. The person who is utterly in love with someone who is their equal and who's utterly in love with them. The person for whom everything flows perfectly. Even when crazy shit happens, they know that it's benign. They just know that everything is so much in love. Can I be that person from moment to moment, even in challenge? And I've seen it. I've seen it recently. A challenging situation, which I navigated way better than I would have. It was still a choice, Do I go into fear or do I trust this? And it was so benign for me. It was a challenge. It was a stretch, but it was benign. It was perfect. It didn't, it didn't turn into the kind of tortuous, painful thing that it might have once. Nora, so lovely to see you. Yay! So this is how our lives can be. And I think all of us here know, to some degree, what this is like. We just think that it's, it's chance, it's coincidence, it happened. No. It just means that for whatever point in time and for however long you did it, you lined up with something that you desired and then it just flowed to you. So the challenge is, can you stay there, independent of your body, what it's screaming at you? Bodies can get really loud. Can you stay there, independent of your circumstances? Oh my God, can circumstances get loud? Can you stay there independent of other people and how loud they can get? Sometimes with the very best of intention, but they can still make it really hard to stay there. And can you stay there for as long as it takes? And I don't mean as long as it takes, like we got to endure, we got to hang on. Because if you're enduring, if you're hanging on, you're not in the place of having it and being it, are you? This is a challenge. I didn't say it was easy. But it's so worth it. Oh my God. So, to stay in the space of being who we want to be. Nothing to do with your circumstances, nothing to do with what you do or don't have, nothing to do with the person or the situation or whatever, or what your body's doing. Can you do that? And you're going to flip-flop in and out. It's going to, absolutely. Because nobody can pay attention all the time. But the more you start, well, how am I? What I did is I did this a month ago and I'm expanding it now. When I brush my teeth, I am bringing up the emotion of my future. Only twice a day. It's not very much, but it's a start. I've kind of trained myself and I'm expanding it now because I got inspired about that yesterday too. So, it's Thursday. I had to, what day is it for a minute? You see, I'm just really here right now. Yeah, well, your old pastor was right, but, of course we disagree because we're all God. You play in and out of the terminology, Linda, and I would agree with him because the names and the labels that we use for these things don't really matter. We create these. We co-create them with divinity, with source. So that's what I wanted to share about. Thank you so much for showing up, for sharing it with me. I'd love to know how you get on. I don't even mention about the fact that it really helps to open your focus to do that, but I spoke about it yesterday. So you know what I mean, or if you want some ideas about how to do that and you haven't seen yesterday, well, check out yesterday. But I reckon everybody who's here with me, you watched me yesterday. So thank you so much for being part of my journey and letting me share mine with you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.